talking about NMAT 2025. I scored 322, which I've scored a 320 before as well. So 322 is still on my highest. So let's look at what is the review of the paper. How do you score? How do you ace the examination and the cutoffs? Well, been training students for more than 23 years, so fairly comfortable with the examination. So we do have workshops for ZAT, SNAP. So interested, you can contact us. Now coming, so my basic score was ASD Con 120. Even last time when I scored, I did ASC Con section with 120. My strong area. Verbal is comparatively my weaker area, but I find this year the verbal was fine. Could have also 105 is a good score for me. Logic normally is my very strongest area, but unfortunately, the logic which is there as far as CAT is concerned is very different from the logic that is there in math, which is more to do with critical reasoning. So, though in CAT is my strongest area, in math it becomes my weakest area, purely because the kind of questions that are there in both the places are quite different. But yes, overall I've been able to score 322 thanks to getting good score in CON. I'll come across to each section. Now, coming to how do you see NMAT 1225? I think the official mock is the right way of looking at it. When you saw the official mock, the way you see the official mock, actual NMAT is going to be similar to that. Same type of questions, preparation, BI, input, output, all the type of questions are the same. Only the questions type will change a little bit, but the type is same. So if you really want to know how the paper is, write the official mock, which is available to you. And you will get a fair idea. As a matter of fact, your final score is going to be similar to your what I mean, most of the students who I met, they've got a similar final score as compared to the first official mock that they wrote. Right? 2 and 3 could be difficult, but the first mock that they wrote, official mock, as you write the first official mock, after you practice enough, practice other mock, etc., and then write the official mock, you'll realize the score that you score in the official mock will be similar to the final score. Now, looking at verbal, I found it comparatively easier than last time. As I said, my verbal is my weaker area, so I normally struggle with the verbal section. But here, I could understand some words. Most of the time, I could even not even understand what words are happening. But this year, I could understand some words. So RC I found a little lengthy. For a speed-based test like NMAT, RC should have been short, but it's comparatively lengthy. But yes, this is what I found different. Logic, more of critical reasoning. Normally my strength is more pure logic, puzzles, etc. But what I saw is there are a lot of questions on critical reasoning. So that means if you really want to crack NMAT logic, practice critical reasoning. It's lengthy to read, little time consuming. It's possible that my passages will lengthy to read because I scored higher. It's adaptive test. Remember, if the scores are higher, you will get a tougher questions as such. But overall, yes, I've found logic a little lengthy, than normal. But yes, the best place to prepare for critical reasoning would be to pick up the GMAT material and solve. You can go to GMAT club, pick up the critical reasoning questions out there and start practicing from there. That is a good source. Quant, I found it difficult. I was myself not sure. Do 120 and 120, I was myself not sure of few of the answers. It sounded a little difficult. I'm not sure I got all the questions answers right. Last time when I got 120, I was more or less sure I got all the answers right. This year I was not sure. So the scoring looks a little bit more generous. More than what I expected technically. But yes, that's fine. The more important point in NMAT, if you really want to crack NMAT, is managing your time. You need to solve all the questions. That's more important. Yes, but you need to complete the paper in time. You can't complete the paper before time. Okay, and because then you'll waste your time as such. And you cannot go slow also in the examination because then you will just mark last answers which could be easier. The key is to plan your paper accordingly. If you find that you're not able to complete your paper within time in your normal mock papers, learn to leave a few questions. There'll be always a few questions which will be quite tough. Try to mark without solving and go ahead for a few questions at least. You should have an idea how many questions I can mark to go ahead. I did the key mistake out this time where, maths, I wasted a lot of time on a couple of questions, but that I think turned out fine because normally I'm faster in maths and I'm able to cover up my questions. But yes, if you find something time consuming, learn to mark and move forward. Time management becomes a key essence as far as NMAT is concerned. My recommendation is before you go for the actual NMAT exam, write a few mocks and that would, help you to plan your paper better. Cutoffs expected to be similar to last year. Last year the cutoff was 209. I'm expecting around same. It could be 209 or 210 to 212, approximately that way around, not much higher than that. Though the marks look higher, but I think the marks are similar to what was last year. Shade higher, maybe a little bit higher. But even if it is slightly higher, if the number of applicants are lower, the cutoffs could remain the same. The other colleges cutoff could remain. Remember last year 2009, but last year NM Mumbai had a separate cutoff, which was around 232 to 33, around that point of time. Okay, that cutoff was different. But last year the cutoff was 209 for across all NM colleges. So which was a common cutoff. So that means which is expected to remain the same. If they come up with a common cutoff, it's expected to remain the same. Other colleges cutoff could remain the same as last year. So you're applying to Somaya, applying to SDA, Bokuni, etc. Whatever last year's cutoff, it should remain the same this year. That's what is expected.